New York Times correspondent Ben Hubbard is in Riyadh covering the visit and joins me now via Skype. Ben, this trip has been billed as an opportunity to reset the American-Saudi relationship. What needs resetting?
Well, I think from the Saudi perspective, there's a lot of things that need resetting. The Saudis, which have been American allies in the Middle East for many, many decades, felt, yeah, I think, and we could say that they felt very deceived under President Obama. There was anger over the way that Obama seemed to give up on Hosni Mubarak, another Arab ally, during Arab Spring protests. They were very angry at his hesitancy to get involved in the war in Syria. And the Iran deal was a huge blow to them. They very much felt that this president, who's supposed to be one of our great allies, went behind our back and made this deal with one of our enemies. So then after Trump was elected, there's just very much a sense here that this is a guy who understands us. This is a guy that we can do business with. This is somebody that has said all the right things when it comes to things that we care about, which are fighting terrorist organizations and specifically with confronting Iran.
Ben, let's talk a little more about business. Can you tell me about that $110 billion weapons deal that was struck today?
Yeah, and it could end up being, I think, $350 billion over the next 10 years. They're going to build a number of high-tech helicopters here in the kingdom, and other deals that are expected to come through tomorrow, dealing with oil and technology and various other industries.
Ben, has there been any reaction to Mr. Trump's statements that have offended so many Muslims?
What's remarkable, I mean, I've spent a lot of time kind of outside of the area where all the officials are. Yesterday, I went to a Harley Davidson rally, actually, and met all these Saudis who love Harley Davidsons. And it's quite amazing how many Saudis would just tell you how much they love Trump. They're just very excited about him. They feel like this is a guy that we can understand. And you try to push him on these things. But what about all these things that he said about Islam, or these things that he said about your country? And they seem much more willing than I think a lot of Americans to just dismiss it as campaign rhetoric, which is very interesting. So, there's been a very concerted media campaign inside the kingdom, and I think it's trickled down. And I think a lot of people have just kind of felt that, like, okay, this is going to be a guy that we can do business with.
Ben, Mr. Trump is slated to give a speech tomorrow. Is there any indication with the tone, the tenor, the content?
No, and it's interesting. This is the one thing that a number of Saudi contacts I have expressed some discomfort over. They've kind of said, Trump is going to give a speech about Islam. We need to see how this is going to go. So I wouldn't say people are too scared of it, but it's one thing people have kind of, it's raised a lot of eyebrows, we could say. We can assume that what really interests him in this relationship is fighting extremism. And I mean, the Saudis have been under threat from the Islamic State, and the Islamic State has carried out a number of attacks inside the kingdom, deadly attacks. And so I think, this is another area where they think that they can do business with Trump.
Ben Hubbard from the New York Times from Riyadh, thanks so much.
Thank you.